Title: Using water, fire, and natural elements creatively. Module: Advanced Fine Art Photography Techniques. Nature offers far more than beautiful backgrounds. Its elements water, fire, wind, earth, and light can become active creative tools that add symbolism, movement, atmosphere, and emotion to fine art photography. When used thoughtfully and safely, these natural elements transform a photograph from a simple portrait into a visual story filled with meaning. The first principle is intention. Never include a natural element simply because it looks attractive. Every element should support the artistic message of the image. Ask yourself what role it plays in the story. Does it represent peace, strength, transformation, freedom, mystery, or renewal? When every element has purpose, the photograph becomes more meaningful. Water is one of the most expressive elements in photography. Still water creates calmness, reflection, and tranquility. Lakes, quiet rivers, and calm ocean surfaces often produce peaceful images with strong visual symmetry. Reflections can double the visual impact of a composition while adding a dreamlike quality. Moving water tells a different story. Flowing rivers, waterfalls, rain, and ocean waves introduce energy, motion, and change. A slow shutter speed can transform moving water into soft, flowing textures, creating an almost painterly atmosphere. Faster shutter speeds freeze individual droplets, emphasizing power and movement. Water also interacts beautifully with light. Backlighting can make droplets sparkle, while reflections from the water surface add subtle highlights across the body. These natural effects often require very little artificial enhancement. Fire carries powerful emotional symbolism. Throughout history, fire has represented life, passion, transformation, courage, and renewal. In fine art photography, fire should always be treated as a symbolic element rather than simply a visual effect. Small, controlled sources such as candles, lanterns, or professionally supervised fire effects can create warm, dramatic illumination. Their gentle glow adds intimacy and mystery while producing natural highlights and deep shadows. However, safety must always come first. Never use open flames without proper preparation, appropriate safety equipment, and complete awareness of the surrounding environment. The artistic value of an image is never worth risking injury or environmental damage. Wind is another remarkable creative partner. It introduces movement that cannot be perfectly controlled, making every frame unique. Hair, fabric, grass, leaves, and even clouds respond naturally to the wind, adding rhythm and life to still photographs. Rather than fighting unpredictable conditions, learn to anticipate them. Patience often rewards the photographer with beautifully timed moments. Earth itself contributes texture and symbolism. Stone, sand, wood, moss, fallen leaves, and weathered surfaces create contrast with the smooth contours of the human body. These textures strengthen the visual relationship between humanity and the natural world. Natural light remains the unifying element. Morning light often feels fresh and hopeful. Golden hour light creates warmth and elegance. Blue hour light introduces quiet mystery. The quality of light influences not only exposure, but also emotional atmosphere. Composition should balance all elements carefully. The natural environment should complement the subject without overwhelming it. The human figure remains the emotional center of the photograph, while water, fire, wind, and landscape become supporting characters in the visual narrative. As photographers become more experienced, they begin to think less about isolated subjects and more about relationships. The relationship between light and water, between fire and shadow, between wind and movement, between the human body and the landscape. These relationships create depth that extends beyond technical perfection. Ultimately, natural elements remind us that photography is not only about recording appearances. It is about expressing the invisible connections between people and the world around them. When water flows, fire glows, wind moves, and light reveals form with artistic intention, every photograph becomes more than an image. It becomes a quiet conversation between humanity and nature. And in that conversation, fine art photography reaches its highest level of expression.